So, my all-time favourite books outside of all my Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek collection. I did something really stupid a few years ago, which I regret. This is my favourite book next to the Lord of the Rings, and I've read this, well, I haven't read this more than once, but I bought this book, the original book I had, and I read it through many times, and then I sold it. Or no, I didn't sell it, I donated it to an op shop, and I went through a phase in my life where I sold all the books I'd read, and now I can't remember any of them, and so I can't find them anywhere online to be able to buy them again. I don't know. Stupid. But anyway, this is the best book of all time, and it is huge. It's massive, and I just love the story. So if I like an author, I buy, because I didn't used to buy books. I would buy the whole series in one go, like the Chronicles of Narnia box set, the Lord of the Rings box set, and just, how do you explain it, a whole shelf of Star Wars novels, which I got so many I could never read them all. Anyhow, so I haven't read this yet, so I'm going to start this with this book. So it's my favourite. Number 2 would be the Amulet of Samarkand. The Amulet of Samarkand, book 1. Yeah, because of the Monty Python line, Samarkand something something. So I just happened to buy the hardcover version, and because of my mental health, if I find a different book with a soft cover, I'm going to buy it. So it goes from good to not so good. This is my opinion. Good to not so good to just, I hate this book. It's... Are you sure it's that one? No, it's not this one. Sorry. So I got that wrong. Ptolemy's Gate is cool. Gollum's Eye is cool. The one I hate is Solomon's Ring, because it's about Solomon, and no other reason. I just can't stand going back to religion, have anything to do with religious figures, mythical or fantasy, doesn't matter. I'm going to have to, like I did with the Dark Tower, try and make the cowboy something that's not a cowboy before I can read the book. I have to do the same with Solomon's Ring. Right. Well, if I'm doing it in order, the order's wrong, so let's just do it in a random order. This book, just this, look at that. It looks burnt. It's such a cool book. I'm keeping everything, but I don't know how I got this. Yes, I do. The library throws out books quite randomly for no reason whatsoever. There's no logic to it, because I just picked up the complete Hunger Games trilogy for nothing. It's just there in a bin. Books that have been withdrawn from the library. Actually, that's not quite true, because in this case, I didn't ask her, did I? A lady walked up to the box with all the withdrawn books. So that's the withdrawn book. And she just, about 2 minutes before I arrived, she had put these there. And of course, luckily, I was the first person in the library to spot these, and I had nothing to carry them home with, so I just squished them in a small bag. Oh my God, paid nothing for them. So yeah, amazing. So anyway, so if I like a book, I do the whole series, everything there is to know, everything there is to do with this author, Demon Collector. So there's another withdrawn book from the Porirua City Library. I'm guessing that they shipped it to Auckland to give it away. And of course, Mortlock. So because I have brain damage, I can read these and then forget what they're about, and a few months later read the same books again. That's what I've done since I was run over by a car when I was 7 years old. So kind of cool in a way. The only wrong thing that I could do would to ever be watching a movie, okay, with the exception of Hunger Games, because I really didn't know there was a book. Stupid. With the exception of Hunger Games, I cannot watch the movies that come from these books. Because the characters I create in my imagination are so much better than whatever comes out in a movie. Except for Stephen King's It. That's the only exception. And I'm talking about the TV series, not the remake. And The Shining? I've never read Shining the book. So there are, okay, if I read the book first, with the exception of the Lord, no, that's not true at all, is it? I read the books years before the movies came out. And I'm one of those, where the F is Tom Bombadil? But that's okay, because there are lots of fan fiction about Tom Bombadil on YouTube now, so that's cool. And of course, I never read the Silmarillion till I got it on Audible, and I've been through it 5 times, and I'm going into the history of Middle Earth and all that. So anyway, I've got the whole entire Artemis Fowl collection. In fact, it's my large. It's Star Trek comes first in the number of books I own. Star Trek comes first, Star Wars comes second, and Artemis Fowl comes third. Because he finished one of the Douglas Adams novels of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I include all the Hitchhiker's guidebooks in this. And so again, like I'm saying, these characters, even in this, the characters in my head are so much better. Is that supposed to be Buster? Butcher. Is that supposed to be Butcher? Anyhow, so the characters in my head are far better than anything in the graphic novels or the movies, the TV series, whatever comes out. For example, I'm just starting to get into Perry. For example, I'm just starting to get into Percy Jackson, and I don't want to watch the Netflix TV series. I just can't, because the characters would be so different. So that's me. That's my... The novel that I'm working on is all about... You can't steal from these books. So it's kind of inspiration. All of these books are going to have bits that I'm interested in, things that I get out of these books, are going into my young adult fiction novel. Scratch and Sniff Save the Earth. I don't know what the hell I'm going to call it. Scratch and Sniff Save the Universe, dude. And so that's me, and the idea, again, back to square one, it's a fantasy story that has robots and AI and lightsabers, fantasy dragons, Avatar meets Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, one of those two. It's kind of a mixture, and that's how I'm doing it. It's really not going to have an official category, because it's going to be science fiction, fantasy, and teaching. Introducing in the novel is going to be Albert Einstein and Chadwick and J.J. Thompson and Ernst Rutherford and all that, Oppenheimer. So what's it going to be? It's almost as if I've developed some sort of fear of textbooks since I developed chronic fatigue, obviously. So what we got here: distance, displacement, speed, velocity, mass, force, energy, acceleration, volume, momentum, charge, torque. So I'll make not a fantasy story about it, but just turn this into some sort of fun way to learn it. As soon as I turn the camera off, I'll have forgotten what they all are. So what has this got to do with the novel? Nothing yet. Some days you'll go days and days and days without anything related to the novel. So one of the worlds that the superheroes go into is a world where everything that we believe does not exist. Only lies exist, and the more lies you tell, the more popular you are, the more friends you have, the more money you make. And I've called it Bizarre World. It's where everything that Kent Hovind or Ken Ham says is true, and Mike Pendleton, Bodie Hodge, Judah Pern, whatever his name is, her name, Jody Hody, all of those assholes, lives in a land of lies, the land of lies. No facts allowed, anti-facts only. And so coming home from the shops today. I did this morning, the Phylogeny Explorer Project. Carl Linnaeus, 1735, is the father of taxonomy. Domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, drunk kangaroos punching children on family game shows. For example, Eukarya, Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Hominidae, Homo sapien. There are bacteria microfossils that are 3.5 billion years old. And the description of life is cellular, metabolism, growth, reproduction, evolution, adaptation, respond, and stimuli and homeostasis. So I think I've screwed up because I watched the same episode twice, but part 2 is called Eukarya and it's also called Protozoic, so I don't know what happened. But it doesn't matter. Earth formed 4.6 billion years ago. So in the water lies Ken Ham and Kent Hovind and all that are quite happy that the world was created on 4004 BC on October the 23rd at 9 AM. Okay, so Earth was struck by another planet the size of Mars, causing the moon 4.51 billion years ago. If you're Ken Ham or Kent Hovind, you don't believe that at all. Zircon crystals 4.404 billion years ago. And that's where we get on a hook because Casey Luskin researched zircon crystals. So whatever he says on his garbage videos, he's denying stuff that he got his degree in. So in 1969 in Australia they found a 4.5 billion year old meteorite with 80 amino acids on it, meaning that life on Earth came from outer space, which people love to over exaggerate and say that we came from alien beings or something. The microfossils 3.77 billion years old. So that goes against the creation of the world 4004 BCE. And all animals between 4004 and the flood of 2348, all animals ate plants. So there were no meat-eating animals on the planet for 1700 years. And Mitzrayim was the first pharaoh of Egypt after he came down from the mountain. He was born on the ark, according to my old school calculations. So stromatolites of microbes are dated at 3.5 billion years ago. If you Ken Ham, Kent Hovind, you don't believe that at all. You don't believe in prokaryotes, eukaryotes, organelles, mitochondria, etc., etc. And the Proterozoic age is 2.2 billion years ago to 1 billion years ago. Algae began to bloom, which produced oxygen. There were no living things on the land at this point. Another taxonomy celebrity, give him that name, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. And once the microscope came about, everybody discovered this amazing world. 1 billion years ago, the Capsaspora osaraki was the first thing to have a gender or to have a sex. We'll get into that.